Okay, so since I don't have a projector at home and from far away you can't see my computer screen through the camera, I'm going to narrate from behind the camera so that you can see the computer screen. So, my name is Erin Wantulok and I analyzed a track block start in competitive swimming. So first we're going to watch the start and then I'll break it down into its separate components. So here's a slow-mo of the track block start in swimming. So phase 1 is the take your mark phase. So the swimmer is preparing to, getting the correct position to make the start. So right here, he's getting in his correct position. When the swimmer's are ready, the gun fires, starting the race, and the swimmer dives. So that's where phase 2 begins, is as soon as the starting gun goes off, right here. So it's all the push off. As soon as all the contact is done with the block, then phase 3 starts when the swimmer's in the air and enters the water. So, now let's analyze. So phase 1 is take your mark phase. So, as you can see by the swimmer, the elbows are fully extended, his forearms are pronated, allowing for his hands to curl around the block. He has flexed wrists, and his fingers are curled around the front edge. His shoulders are adducted and flexed to a little bit above 90 degrees from his body, the sides of his body, and they're slightly internally rotated to help with that pronation. His neck is flexed and his spine is curved to bend over the front of his legs. His hips are adducted and flexed. His knees are also slightly flexed, and the back foot, which this video doesn't show very well, but in most dives, especially when I was swimming, the back foot is plantar flexed. And the mechanical objective for this phase is balance, to be able to get a good push off for your dive. This is aided by the friction between the swimmer's feet and hands against the block. Phase 2 is the takeoff phase. The swimmer's arms remain pronated and extended. His shoulders become even greater flexion, so hyperflexed. His neck and back extend. His hips also extend, and there's a slight outward rotation to get back to like a normal positioning while in the air. And his knees extend, and both of his ankles plantar flex to create pointed toes. The mechanical objective for this phase is 1, locomotion, moving from the block into the air and then into the water. Projection, obviously projecting his own body into the air off of the block, and maximal effort to create speed, power, force, and accuracy. The objectives are aided by the friction, again, between the swimmer's body parts and the block, as well as the contraction of his muscles and the force that produces. The movements are hindered by gravity once the swimmer is off the block, and air resistance as he moves through the air. Stage 3 is the water entry. So the swimmer's wrists are going to horizontally adduct into streamline. His head and neck are going to flex, tucking his chin back through his arms. The back straightens out, just into kind of normal state. His hips are going to flex slightly. His legs remain straight with the knees extended and the toes pointed as he enters the water. And the mechanical objectives for this phase are balance. So in the air, you don't want to, over-rotate and enter the water at a rotated angle. Maximum effort again, and manipulation of resistance, the water being the resistance in this case. So the movements are all aided by the rigidity and tightness of the body and the contracting muscles, how they aid in this. And this hindered again by gravity and air resistance, as well as the water drag as soon as the swimmer enters the surface. So let's watch it again, seeing if we can observe everything I just noted for you. So the swimmer's knees are bent, his hips are flexed, arms fully extended, shoulders flexed. And then as he pushes off, first he pushes off with his arms, continuing flexion above his head. His neck right here, you can see his neck extends backwards to bring his body up off of the block. And then this is going to create the arch in his back once he's in the air. Stage 3, you'll see his head dip back down again, which starts to lower his body into the water. Legs extend out, and then water entry. So, this was my analysis of the track block start. The advantages to the start are its minimum time to take off as soon as you hit a starting block, because you are already so set. It creates maximum velocity with all the power that you have from the legs and arms pushing, captures the force from all the muscle contractions, and it utilizes the air time to increase and maintain the entry speed, since there's those slight and subtle movements to create an optimal body angle of entry. And it correctly positions your body to begin the stroke as you're in streamline and your legs are extended out back to begin your kick. So, there's my presentation.